Hello, welcome to another Becoming a Modern Man. We are once again playing a deck I'm calling Lightning Wizard, which is a blue-red Wizards deck with the Dominaria cards in it. So this time we're running up against an Eldrazi and Taxes deck. So this hand is pretty nice, to be honest. We've got a nice curve of our wizards here in terms of Soulscar Mage, Storm Chaser, Adeliz, and some spells to boot. And we've got the lands, so yeah, pretty happy with that. And Inquisitions, so I take Lightning Bolt, which is interesting. Sure, shouldn't take the Soulscar Mage there, but I suppose it depends on our opponent's hand. Opponent plays a Relic, which is kind of annoying if we have to, or we're looking to cast Become Immense, which awkwardly decides to show up after our opponent plays Relic. Play Storm Chaser Mage here. And we're able to attack for 2. Opponent has a 17. Basically, I'm saving up this mutagenic growth and anything else for when Adeliz comes down. Ideally. Plays a Wasteland Strangler, which is going to be able to kill the Storm Chaser Mage. Also cracks the Relic at the end of last turn, which obviously makes it more likely we're going to be able to use this Become Immense. So we get 2 cards in the graveyard with Wasteland Strangler returning the Lightning Bolt into our graveyard, which is definitely appreciated. Could have saved the Storm Chaser there with a mutagenic growth, but given that we've got another Storm Chaser in hand, and if we don't draw a land, we probably aren't doing anything else next turn. I think I'm happy to just let that one go. So we play another Storm Chaser and attack for 1 again. One plays an Eldrazi Displacer, which is certainly a concern. It being able to blink out one of our attackers or what have you is going to be kind of a problem, so that's certainly something to keep an eye on. We find our 3rd land, and we could kill the Eldrazi Displacer, but it's not an immediate threat, I don't think, so we're just going to play the Adeliz here and attack. Also notably, we don't have any more cards in exile. If we did, then our opponent could have blinked the Wasteland Strangler and then kill one of our creatures. But as I say, we don't have any cards in exile at the moment. Just that 1 Lightning Bolt from earlier in the game, which has now been returned to our graveyard, so we're in a good position in that regard. Opponent attacks for 6 here, and goes down to 11. And then plays Lingering Souls, which is annoying, but actually ultimately fine. I'm able to attack here. Get a couple of blocks from the tokens. Gonna Lightning Bolt this Eldrazi Displacer because I think it's going to cause us problems. It also means that our opponent's clock is a lot worse, and we can keep our life total nice and healthy. Could have actually hit for... No, actually we could have attacked for lethal here. We didn't bother, but we actually could have done that. I missed that, actually. So yeah, we could have attacked for lethal there because the Soulscar Mage was unblocked. And we could have mutagenic growth plus Become Immense on the Soulscar Mage, which actually would have been enough to kill our opponent. So missed a trick there. It doesn't end up being relevant at all, as our opponent plays Thought-Knot Seer, which takes the Become Immense. But we've actually got enough attack power in the air here to win through just with this mutagenic growth. It was actually exactly 8 damage, so yeah, almost punted by missing a kill there, but fortunately we were able to attack for 8 in the air, and that's enough to wrap this one up. But yeah, should have killed our opponent the turn before, preferably. So let's look at sideboarding for this one. So here we are with the sideboard. In terms of cards we want against Eldrazi and taxes, could bring in Destructive Revelry to deal with Vile. Our opponent lately told us that he wasn't actually running Vile, and he was not really running most of the taxes elements. He's more of a sort of blue-black Eldrazi deck. So unfortunately we didn't bring those in. I don't think it's really worth it just to deal with Vile either. Flame Slash seems good as a way of just killing Thought-Knot-Seer for good value, and kills most of their creatures, to be quite honest. So I think Flame Slash is a card we want to be bringing in. Could consider Bedlam Reveler, but I'm not sure. Entrancing Melody doesn't do much. With the Retort doesn't. We could Vapor Snag again. That's a good way of sort of dealing with a Thought-Knot-Seer, I suppose. But a lot of their creatures comes into play abilities and things like Wasteland Strangler and Thought-Knot-Seer, so perhaps not the best use. And maybe we're better off just artful dodging past those kind of things. So we could consider bringing in Vapor Snags. Certainly would slow our opponent down quite a bit. So that's considerations for sure. I definitely want this Flame Slash. In terms of cards we're cutting, kind of difficult. I think probably we just want to get rid of some of the top end stuff. Possibly cut and Landliers, possibly a Snapcaster, because that's a bit slow. But otherwise I think pretty happy with most of the cards in the main deck. So I think generally the setup's fine. Maybe don't have to change anything, but I think we'll bring in a Flame Slash and maybe a Vapor Snag or two, and that seems good to me. Okay, so here we are with game 2. So this hand is certainly very red heavy. Obviously we haven't got any draw spells to find our second land. I think I end up sticking with this. It's certainly not too bad. We've got things to do on if we don't find the second land. So as I say, I'm not too keen on mulliganing with this deck too much because it doesn't always do the best. So I think this is playable, and we'll run with it. Second Assault Strobe is kind of annoying. It doesn't really do a whole lot. When Inquisition is taking the Storm Chaser Mage, which is somewhat irritating, but we draw another one. Still hoping to get that land. Attack here, I decided to Wizard's Lightning. I don't know if wasn't necessary here, but given that we've sort of tight on mana, and I thought it's a good time to get a bit of extra damage through, we can hit our opponent for 5 here and put them down to 15, which seems useful. Opponent does nothing. We find our second land, fortunately. Get a Stomping Ground here just in case we draw into Become Immense. So attack for 2 here. Opponent has Blessed Alliance, which is fine. Obviously losing the Soul Scar Mage is annoying, but we still got a creature, so we're not completely undone by that. Opponent plays Gonti, Lord of Luxury, a card which I've seen in sideboards from time to time. I'm not too keen on it myself. I don't think it really does a whole lot. Obviously we've got a Flyer here, so we're not really bothered about attacking into Gonti, so the Death Touch isn't wholly relevant, and we can kill it, but we don't really need to. We don't get to see the card that our opponent took. The only thing that I would keep in consideration here is that obviously we run Lightning Bolts and variations thereon, so we just need to be conscious that our opponent might have a Lightning Bolt now exiled and ready to go. So attack for 1 here. Opponent plays Eldrazi Displacer, which could be a problem. So we probably just want to answer that. Probably going to use this Flame Slash to deal with it. So yeah, Flame Slash to deal with the Eldrazi Displacer. And then we're going to get it in for 4 here. Opponent tries to Path the Storm Chaser Mage. I just drew to this Vapor Snag. I decided to Vapor Snag, taking back the Storm Chaser Mage. So we can keep that, and then we get into 3 instead of 4. Our opponent then has a Thought-Seer which to follow up, which is kind of annoying. Obviously we used up our Flame Slash, and now we used up our Vapor Snag as well, which obviously were both good cards against this Thought-Seer. So slightly upsetting, but fine. We're going to attack here. So interestingly, this is where Soulscar Mage's second bit of text comes into play and is actually handy. So the second bit of Soulscar Mage says if a sorcerer you control would deal non-combat damage to a creature and opponent controls, put them in -1/-1 counters on that creature instead. Basically it gives your burn spells wither. So we can actually lightning bolt the Soulscar, the Thought-Seer here, and it becomes a 1/1. So instead of trading, we can actually just kill off the Thought-Seer. We get to draw a card, which turns out to be a Wizard's Lightning, which is pretty nice. Opponent plays Adeliz, which is the card that you took from our deck with Gonti, it would appear, which is fine. And you're going to attack for 2, which again is fine. And so our opponent's got 3 cards, and we can kill them here if we so wish. So we're going to kill off Gonti. As I say, if our opponent has Path to Exile, we're going to get done over here, but I think we're probably just best off going for it here. So we can attack 3, then use Mutagenic Growth, which puts us up to 6, with the double strike from the Assault Strobe, and we can hit for 12, and that wraps things up. I think our opponent showed us their hand at the end of this game and revealed they actually had a bunch of Lingering Souls in their hand, so they definitely should have played Lingering Souls over Adeliz, in my opinion, as that would have been a much better play and made it much more difficult for me to win. But as I say, we got our timing right, went in for the kill here, and managed to wrap up this game.